Hello there. Today I will be reviewing the Lamy Safari. Iconic pen, well known and well used by journalists and students the world over. Many people will either love this pen or hate this pen, and I am one of the ones who love it. Here's why. The pen is very durable. It's made of a lightweight but sturdy plastic. Very inexpensive pen at between $26 and $30 depending on where you look. It's inexpensive as far as fountain pens go. This was actually one of my first fountain pens, was this Lamy Safari, one of the first proper pens that I've purchased. I thoroughly enjoy this pen. I'm currently using it with a 1.1mm stub, which can very easily and readily be swapped out for any of the other offerings of Lamy nibs. They swap in about 2 seconds time. You can swap extra fine, fine, medium, broad. They're also available in a 1.1 as well as a 1.5mm stub. I believe they also offer some left-handed nibs as well for you lefties out there. I honestly am not left-handed, so I cannot attest to how well those write, but I have not had any complaints at all with any of my Lamy nibs. The extra fine is quite a bit pickier when it comes to what type of paper you use, but most extra fine and fine nibbed fountain pens will be picky about the type of paper that you try and use them with. I've found that with a 1.1mm stub, I can write on just about any type of paper there is. It'll even write on a paper bag or something if need be. I sign receipts with my Safari. So it's a very versatile pen. The nibs are very easily and inexpensively replaced. If you have a heavy-handed friend or co-worker that borrows your pen, no worries, $10 to $12 and you got yourself a new nib that very easily snaps right on. If you are a person who is very picky about the shape of your grip section, the grip section on the Safaris, the Vistas, the All-Stars has a slight triangular shape to it. It has an indentation on the two indentations along the top, which force you into a proper grip if you hold your pen the way I hold the pen. I like it because it instantly orients the pen in the proper way to the paper every time I pick it up. I don't have to look at the pen to see which way the nib is pointing, unlike some pens that are perfectly round. You actually have to get a visual reference of the pen before you can begin writing, because you don't want to start on a side and tear the paper or mess up your nib or something. You want to write evenly on the tines, and this grip ensures that you do it each time. Unless you're the type of person who holds your pen across the top, as some people I know do. If that's the case, it might be quite uncomfortable for you and hard to orient correctly. Another thing I like about it, and some people do not like, is that it takes a cartridge or converter, and you have to use either a Z24 or Z26 Lamy converter if you are going to use a converter in it. That being said, they hold a sufficient amount of ink for my daily use. If I think I'm going to be away from my supplies for any length of time, I just bring an extra little bit of ink with me. But I'm a guy that gets tired of the ink that I'm using very quickly and likes to change it up on a pretty regular basis. So that smaller supply that's provided in a converter is fine by me. Another downside to this pen is that you will not be able to use it as an eyedropper. I like the little ink window. It lets you know when your converter is starting to run low on ink. However, it is clear. There is no barrier in there whatsoever, no piece of glass or Lexan or anything. It's simply a hole in the ferrule of the pen. So no eyedropper conversion there. The cap posts fairly securely if you're a posting type person, snaps on and off very easily, and forms a very good seal, surprisingly, as well. I have let this pen sit for several weeks, capped, sitting in a drawer or sitting in a cup, or I've neglected this pen at times for long periods of time, and it has always started right up when I uncap it and begin writing. So it's been a very reliable pen for me. It was also one of the first proper pens, as I said, that I purchased, and it's held up very well. It has held up going to many construction sites and much abuse. I've used it to write down parts lists when working on vehicles. I've used it to take notes, and it's just been a really great pen. I can't recommend it enough. However, you know, it's not for everyone. As I said, some people will have issues with the grip section. Other people may have issues with the fact that the only nibs available for it are steel. But once again, $30 pen, inexpensive, easily replaceable nibs. I have no complaints. They're very easy to clean, very dependable. And I hope this was helpful for someone. And I'll show you guys a writing sample in just a second.
And now for something completely different, a writing sample. Using a Lamy Safari with a 1.1mm stub and inked with Lamy Blue Black ink. The feed keeps up very well with fast writing. I have no complaints as to this pen. You know, everybody likes doing writing samples, and I can only, you know, see the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog so many times. Yeah. So I never know what to put in these writing samples, but here it is. I'm using Rhodia notepad with 80-gram paper. I also have my little trusty handy-dandy backing sheet. I find that works really well for getting a good feel for the nib of the pen. You know, some of the finer nibs will bite into even some real heavy paper if you don't use some sort of a backing when you write with it. So yeah, the Lamy Safari. Really hard to look through my camera and write at the same time. I'm new to this and totally failing miserably. But that's all there is to it. See a little bit of, you know, what the stub can do for you. It will give you a nice fat downstroke, nice thin, fine side stroke. There is no line variation. If you push harder, it just gives you a little bit more ink on the paper. In terms of the wetness, it's you know, it's a fairly wet feed. That being said, as you can see, this ink dries very quickly and is quite friendly with this paper. So, you know, after just a couple of seconds, it's dried to the touch. You don't have to worry about smearing or anything like that. all in all, just a great pen. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a message at the bottom of the video. Otherwise, we'll just keep making videos. I think my next review will be on a vintage pen. We'll get a little bit more in depth with the vintage pens. Lamy Safari, find it for $25 to $30. You can get a whole bunch of different nibs for it. Very sturdy, very reliable, and yeah, that's all there is to it. Very hard to write looking through. Looking through my thanks for watching. That's all for today, and we'll see you later. Have a great one.